rerouted. Backup. Data. Operation. Phoenix. Initiated.
What the hell? I axed this protocol. What are you doing with my clone? It's okay, I'm you. I took my own clone VAT offline a couple seasons ago, so I think my backup got rerouted to your universe. I'm sorry. All good. Happy to help. By the way, annoying that I even have to ask, but you are down with fascist dystopias, right?
If you're making a breakfast that has pancakes, toast, and what
Skip.
those who rushed out and grabbed the Yasica Insta handles, all I have to say is that your commitment to mimicry and parody of this character has been underwhelming. This sin is on your hands.
And padding the sync count and runtime is on your hands, so here you go.
I need death crystals from Forbodulon Prime.
Show will never explain what makes the Death Crystals from Forbodulon Prime better than any other Death Crystals. And if you're going to say they only exist on Forbodulon Prime, then we never find out why Rick, who cares about nothing, cared about name-dropping this planet.
Pointless sin is pointless. Why is it a mistake of the episode for Rick to say what planet he's going to? What the hell?
Why are they called death crystals? Do they kill you? You're thinking of bullets, Morty.
While bullets are technically crystalline solids, this punchline probably should have been reserved for jokes about death metal.
You admitted that it works, so what's your point?
Death crystals show you how you're gonna die.
Then I hereby submit they should be called Cause of Death Crystals. Also, Expirite was right there.
Why did you give 2 sins in a row for the episode giving the crystals a better name than the ones you proposed? Seriously, why do you think the episode would be better if they had given worse names?
People that spend their life avoiding death are already dead.
And what's dead may never die. So what, are people that spend their dead lives living death quantum entangled?
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture ref.
The idea of using the Expirite as some sort of morbidity divining rod is interesting and all, but no, I'm not buying it. Even if you did catch a unified glimpse of your demise, every micro movement would completely change the possible outcome in a way that would render it no longer valid and impossible to recover.
But the episode is showing you that's not the case right now. We're essentially dealing with magic here, so if you can't give an actual explanation for why your claim is true, you shouldn't be making a claim at all.
Willing to accept that you're doing this if you're willing to accept that you need to stop.
Title of my sex tape?
Discount Jeremy makes a cringy sex tape joke that isn't funny cliche.
Operation. Phoenix. Initiated.
Something, 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 cloning callback, something, something, Rick's pixelated improv the rest is how I'm guessing this scene was written.
Okay, and the sin is what exactly? Oh, you don't have anything? Okay then.
Thing in the garbage. Stop planning your own death and talk to whoever you want.
Rick steals the exact words I told my younger siblings about their paper fortune teller. Oh, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, see also Chatterbox, Flipper Flapper, Salt Cellar, Whirlybird, Paku Paku, or Cootie Catcher. Being so worried about scientific accuracy that you make space completely silent when you know your audience would rather hear the Nazi Morty choking to death.
Everything wrong with Rick and Morty, ladies and gentlemen. They made a scene scientifically accurate.
Out of here, Stop Morty. Asking stupid questions, Morty. Get the sound like a piece of shit.
These Shrimple Ricks yelling at Morty because verbal abuse is fun.
Discount Jeremy sins characters for staying in character ex machina.
I'd remove a sin if I could say for sure that this sign meant no flossing, but...
Skip.
Wait, isn't that the same student that was sitting on the floor earlier? Are you telling me that wasn't even their locker they were in front of? You sat down and leaned on someone else's locker? Who does that?
The way he says this makes it sound like he's never been to high school. If the girl is in the popular clique, she'll be comfortable doing that. Popular people suck.
I certainly have questions about how or why holograms eat, but the show is, of course, touching on that just enough to pretend like it actually means something. So instead, I'll ask how this holotech is powered and where it's physically distributed from. The show gets a lot of credit for thinking through its theoretical concepts, but when it comes to technology, it lives firmly on yada yada avenue.
Yes, because this detail simply doesn't matter. Seriously, did anyone actually want an explanation for this before they heard TVsins ask for one? The answer is no. Nobody with any sense would want the show to stop dead in its tracks and give a bunch of exposition on holograms. That would disrupt the momentum of the story and be extremely boring.
You just show me how to stay alive.
Morty is now asking Hollow Rick to help him not die instead of consulting the Death Stone, even though Hollow Rick helping him not die was not presented as an option by the Death Pebble. Show is all over the place when it comes to how committed Morty is to following his new sedimentary god.
And do you not think that makes sense? Morty is like 14, right? Do you honestly expect a 14-year-old to be consistent?
Too fascistish? Nope.
First up, I think this is a very funny recurring gag, which is something I never thought I'd say about fascism. Second, the writers made a teddy bear Rick because, of course, that's funny, but they also made him mortal in the same way a human would be mortal, instead of giving him soft and cuddly innards as we would expect. The commitment to Teddy Rick was less than that of Pickle Rick, who was a pickle all the way through, and that's just unacceptable.
Yet more padding the sync count and runtime.
Sure, I'm enjoying the every Rick, every Mort all at onceness of it all, but how is he able to so quickly identify which path leads to Jessica when up until now he had to take time to zero in on it?
This scene is showing that he's gotten more adept at using death crystals because of his experience. I can't believe you didn't understand this very simple concept. Also, Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture
Shield me from the law!
Cool, 2 Meeseeks callbacks in the same episode, but wouldn't these Meeseeks have immediately shielded him from the law, thereby accomplishing their task and consequently disappeared?
Shielding someone from the law is kind of open to interpretation, and the episode is showing you right now that the Meeseeks' interpretation was that they needed to run the authorities off.
I think we're just about ready to forgive him and move past this whole thing. He's a free young man, and as far as continuity goes, the reset button's been hit.
What the f? Did you just try to tell the audience that none of what Morty is doing in this episode matters as it relates to the broader storyline? Oh, it matters, and this is not the last time you will be hearing about it.
Discount Jeremy sends meta jokes ex machina.
What are these wasp nests for if you furnished a human-type house? And why is there a collectible plate on display if you don't even use plates in the first place? Does no one on this show care about the important things?
This is yet another cringeworthy sin where he complains about inconsequential details that nobody else cared about until he mentioned them. I don't know if he thinks these types of sins are funny or if he thinks they're legitimate critiques, but he's wrong either way.
Wasp!
It's funny because he can't be stung, but it's also not funny because he's been spouting off all episode about being a hologram, so we know that he knows that we know that he knows that we know that he knows that we know that he knows excuse me, that he's not able to be stung.
The thing you're complaining about right now is exactly what makes the joke funny. What are you smoking?
I can feel! I have mass!
For reasons!
Discount Jeremy actually wants the show to stop dead, have Rick look directly at the audience, and then give a TED talk on how a hologram can become a physical entity. Jesus Christ.
I just need to die harder.